Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Emery and welcome back to another video. And guys, welcome to as I like to call this, a mega tier list. Guys, so as I was looking over my YouTube channel charts and just looking to see how my videos perform and shit, I see y'all absolutely love my early 2000s Marvel tier list video. Y'all absolutely support the hell out of that video. Y'all absolutely love that video to death. That video is my most popular video on the channel, so I thought, why not reenact that popularity, where this time, instead of the early 2000 Marvel movies, I'll be reviewing and doing a tier list on every single MCU Marvel movie, from the very first Iron Man movie all the way to Deadpool and Wolverine. So, guys, this is going to be a mega long tier list and probably going to be a pretty long video. So, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I made a tier list video pretty recently on ranking and doing a tier list on all the WWE games, which if you haven't, go check that video out. Pretty good video, but it's a great video, and I'm back with another tier list video. We're doing MCU movies. It's going to be a long video. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm on the road to 10 subscribers. I'm so close. If you can get your boy there, that would mean the world to me. And with all that crap out of the way, let's just hop right into it. Starting with the very first Marvel, the very first MCU movie to ever. Just the very first MCU movie ever. Hold on. Alright. Very first MCU movie being Iron Man. Kickstarting off the MCU, Iron Man. Where do I think Iron Man belongs? Now, Iron Man is a pretty solid movie. I think for the first MCU movie, Iron Man is pretty good. It's an MCU movie I haven't seen a whole lot. I've seen it like a couple of times. It doesn't have as good as rewatchability, say like Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's still a great movie. Great special effects, great writing, a pretty standard plot, but like it's like the first MCU movie, one of the first superhero movies, so you gotta cut it some slack. It's got a great villain, great acting, it's got some good writing, some good ass special effects, some good practical effects on the Iron Man suits. And even the Ironmonger suit, which even though Ironmonger is kind of a dumb villain, I do think his suit, especially the special effects, look really good. This movie all around is great, and I think Ironmonger is a pretty great villain. He's actually very intimidating and really threatening, and for the first MCU villain, he's actually pretty solid, for like, in all things considered, for the first MCU villain. I think Iron Man, all things considered, is pretty solid. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's necessarily amazing. I think it's hold up. I think in terms of like rewatchability, it's got some decent rewatchability, some good jokes in there, some good humor. Overall, it's hold up pretty well. And for one of the first MCU movies, it's gonna be ranked pretty high. I don't think it's great or amazing. I think it's just pretty solid. I think it's a solid movie all around. I think it's like a good like 7 out of 10, decent, good movie. A fun movie to watch with your friends or family. It's just a fun movie. So I'm gonna throw that bad boy in pretty solid, and I think that's a great way to kickstart our tier list, guys. We got a lot of movies and shows to get to, so I'm gonna try to make this fast in terms of my opinion, in terms of my reviews and opinions on these movies. But if you guys want to hear my like more of my full thoughts on these movies and shows, I might do maybe separate reviews on these movies and shows, but I'm not doing that on a tier list, because just giving my full thoughts on these shows and movies will take way too long, and we have a lot of movies and shows to review, so that'd just take way too long. But next up, we have The Incredible Hulk, and this movie just all around is just pretty mediocre, kind of a forgettable movie. In my opinion, I think Ang Lee's Hulk from 2003 is a much better film. I think Ang Lee's Hulk is just a much better film in my opinion. I think Ang Lee's Hulk really dives more deeper into like Hulk as a character, and I think it does better with terms with the actual Hulk character. It does better. It does way better. It does way better with Bruce Banner's character, his tragic backstory. And Ang Lee's Hulk will always be an iconic, classic movie for me. Not just that. And Ang Lee's Hulk is not just good as like a superhero movie. It's just good as like a genuine monster movie. It just it really feels like it has some of those really like old monster traits in it, and that's what makes it good. However, the Incredible Hulk is not good. Ang Lee's Hulk might be absolutely iconic and really good to me, and I feel like Ang Lee's Hulk is very severely underrated. Ang Lee's Hulk will always hold a special place in my heart. However, I can't say the same about the Incredible Hulk. This movie is very, very mediocre. I don't think it's downright awful. I don't think it's garbage. It definitely doesn't belong. Definitely doesn't belong higher. It definitely does not belong in any of these tiers over here. Definitely does not belong into any of these tiers. I think the most tier I can give it is meh. Is because I don't really think much of this movie. What's even more sad is the Incredible Hulk. Most of like the very important impacts of Hulk's character later on in the MCU. Most of those impacts actually, the Incredible Hulk is like, I think it's the first MCU movie in the franchise in the cinematic universe to actually to actually hold some pretty impactful significance in the MCU. Like Iron Man's not really as impactful. Like Iron Man, it didn't really like kickstart all the impact of the MCU. If anything, the Incredible Hulk was actually the one to really kickstart like the phases of Marvel. The Incredible Hulk was actually the first one to kickstart that, and that's kind of sad. The Incredible Hulk all around is a very mediocre movie with some very bland looking CGI. The CGI looks very mid. Some very bland acting, a very paper thin plot. I mean, Iron Man didn't have the best plot either, but like it works in terms of like a comic book movie at least, and it is the first movie in the MCU. And while Iron Man may not be like one of the best movies ever made, it's still a good movie. It still has good writing, good acting, and it holds up still pretty well. Incredible Hulk, however, is just a very mediocre movie all around, and it belongs in meh tier because it is a meh movie. Next up, we have Iron Man 2. Where is it? Right here. Next up, we have Iron Man 2. I actually, out of all the Iron Man movies, both this one and 3 are the one I watched the most. Iron Man 2 is actually pretty good. I'm going to put it in pretty solid because it is a pretty solid movie. I don't think it's I don't think it's as good as the first one. I think the first one honestly just holds up more better. But I think Iron Man 2 is actually a pretty good movie. I implore y'all to watch it. It's also very underrated too. I feel like a lot of people give this movie a lot of slack. It's actually not bad. It has probably one of my favorite villains in the MCU, Justin Hammer. Justin Hammer is just so fucking funny. He's so hilarious. I love I forgot the actor's name. I love the actor that plays Justin Hammer. He does a great job. Don Cheadle as Don Cheadle as War Machine. Don Cheadle as War Machine. I think that's the actor's name. He does a great job as Tony's friend, War Machine. Of course, Robert Downey is amazing as Tony. And Elon Musk makes a cameo in Iron Man 2. It's kind of weird. That's like one of my only like complaints in Iron Man 2. Elon Musk makes a cameo. It was like back when Elon Musk was very young. And it was before he got into all the Twitter shit. But yeah, Elon Musk makes a cameo. It's very, very effing weird. But anyway, Iron Man 2, all things considered, it's a really, really good movie. Iron Man 2 actually holds a lot more impact than a lot of people think. Iron Man 2 is very impactful. Iron Man 2 is the whole reason why Thor got made. Because without Iron Man 2's post-credit scene with Mjolnir, Thor probably would not have been made. Iron Man 2 kind of put Thor in production. It put Thor in the making, and I got to give it some extra points for that. Iron Man 2 is all around because a great movie with some very entertaining and fun villains. It's got a great climax. It's got some great fight scenes. Iron Man 2 all around is a very, very solid movie. Not as good as the first one, but it's still a very good movie, and a movie I do look back on very, very fondly. And it's a movie I usually watch I watch quite a lot. I watch it more than the first one because it's just more entertaining, in my opinion. The first one's good, but like the second one's just more entertaining. But yeah, all around, Iron Man 2 is a very solid movie, and it belongs in behind Iron Man and pretty solid tier. So yeah. Next up after Iron Man 2, we have, where is it? If I can find it. Damn, bro. These tier lists are it's always so hard to find some. There it is. Let me scroll back up. Next up, we have Thor. Hello? There we go. Next up, we have Thor. Probably our first. This movie is probably gonna it's probably gonna be our second. It's probably gonna be our second mid tier movie of the video. I don't think Thor's that necessarily good. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's bad, but I think the Thor movies that come after it are much better. And I think this is Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth's probably his most weakest performance in terms of all the movies he's been in as Thor. I think this is his weakest performance as the character, Chris Hemsworth. But I don't think he does a terrible job. But I don't think Thor is necessarily good. I'll put it in front of Incredible Hulk because I remember this movie way more than Incredible Hulk, and Thor has way more enjoyable scenes, and it's just overall a better movie than the Incredible Hulk, but not by much. It's a very meh movie, and a movie that I tend to forget quite a lot. Not that great. Thor is really not that great of a movie, but a really good movie that we have coming up after Thor, being Captain America: The First Avenger. This movie is really good. Captain America: The First Avenger. I watched it not too long ago. It's so good. Chris Evans does so well with the character. I love Chris Evans. I love Bucky. Bucky's great. Red Skull is pretty fucking silly, but he works in like the tone of the movie. He works pretty well. I really like, like the World War II, I like the very old aesthetic of the movie. The movie looks really old. I like how they make the movie very, like the world and the environment look very old. I really, really like that. This movie all around, is just great. It's Captain America: The First Avenger is our first really great, really good movie of Phase 1. It's the first really good movie of Phase 1. It's our first really good MCU movie, because the others are either very mediocre or meh, very forgettable, or all around, or just pretty solid. Not terrible, but nothing to get too excited about. But Captain America: The First Avenger really takes that mediocre and solidness, mixes it together, and you just get awesomeness. Captain America: The First Avenger, out of all the Captain America movies, it might be my favorite, but Winter Soldier comes pretty close to beating First Avenger for me. Also, can we please touch on the ending scene in First Avenger? Towards the ending scene when Nick Fury is in the Shield after Captain America breaks out of the fake, old-timey facility of Shield. He's freaking out because he's in he doesn't know what's going on. The environment's a lot more newer, more modern to him. And then Nick Fury's Captain America, what's going on? How did you get here? What happened? And Captain America says, I had a date. And the screen goes to black. Captain America says, I had a date, and then the screen goes to black. Perfect 10 out of 10 ending. Every time that ending plays, it always gives me goosebumps. It's probably one of the best ways to end a movie. In the post-credit scenes, even better, setting up the Avengers, which would come after Captain America a year later. But Captain America: The First Avenger all around is a great movie, and probably one of my favorite MCU movies. It's really, really great. And, of course, coming after Captain America: The First Avenger, 1 year later, one of the biggest main events in all of movie history, the Avengers, Marvel Studios' Avengers, aka Joss Whedon's Avengers, came out in May of 2012. And when this movie came out, it shook the world by storm. This was the biggest movie of the year, right behind Prometheus. Prometheus was pretty big, too. But Avengers was number one. This movie was fucking huge, and for good reason. This movie is really good. I'm not going to put it in amazing tier because I think there are a couple of writing issues and like the main plot of the movie, and I think Josh Whedon's directing is pretty fucking awful, all things considered. I really don't like Josh Whedon's like editing and directing. But the actors of the film absolutely carry this movie, like Chris Hemsworth, Robert Downey, Mark Ruffalo, um, Jeremy Renner, Scarlett Johansson, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, Robert Downey, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Mark Ruffalo. They all carry this movie. Loki is great. Samuel L. Jackson is Samuel L. Jackson. This movie all around is just absolutely amazing. I don't think it belongs in amazing tier because, of course, like I said, like I touched on, there are some flaws, and especially in Josh Whedon's directing, and there are some writing issues. But besides all that, it is a pretty great movie. So I'll put it in front of Captain America in great tier because it is a great movie. It's not amazing, but it is great. It is great. It's a great movie, and in a discussion, it's great. Now, probably our first, now thinking about it, Iron Man 3, I was about to put this movie in amazing tier, because Iron Man 3 is really good. Shit, it's raining outside. Sorry about that, guys. If you can hear rain in the background, it's raining pretty hard right now, as I'm filming. Iron Man 3 is pretty great. I don't know if I put it behind or in front of Captain America, First Avenger. I think I really like First Avenger. You know what? Iron Man 3, you know what, guys? Don't hate me for this, but I do think Iron Man 3 is a little bit better a little bit better than Captain America First Avenger by just a little bit. I think Iron Man 3 is a really, really great movie. All three of the Iron Man movies are just really great, like all of them. I think 3 is the best out of the trilogy, but I think the first and second one are really solid, like I said. But Iron Man 3 is just, I don't know, it's just something about it, like, don't get me wrong, the whole Mandarin thing is pretty much bullshit, like, let's be honest, the whole Mandarin thing of Trevor being an actor, not a terrorist, an actor, is pretty fucking silly and pretty dumb, in my opinion. The Mandarin thing's pretty stupid, and I think the side plot with the extremists and Aldrich Killian being the real Mandarin, I think it's stupid. Even though Aldrich Killian was not the real Mandarin, in fact, the real Mandarin was the main villain in Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi, Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi. I don't know how to pronounce it, but the main villain in Shang-Chi. He was actually the real Mandarin the entire time. So none of that Trevor bullshit, none of the Aldrich Killian. It was actually the villain in Shang-Chi. He was the Mandarin all along. Anyways, but Aldrich Killian and the whole extremist side plot, I wasn't a fan of the whole extremist. I'm not a fan of that side plot. The actor Mandarin thing was bullshit. But besides that, the movie is so fun. It's great. It's great acting, great writing. It has sort of a dark tone, which I like. It goes to being kind of dark to being very, very comedic. The tone switches very, very quickly, like in a flash. It went to being dark to, it went to being like a dark and depressing, edgy movie to being a more like comedy family movie. Very, very weird. Very weird tone change. But I don't mind it. Iron Man 3 is just a very fun movie, in my opinion, and it's just a great movie. Now getting back on track with mediocre movies, Thor: The Dark World. This movie, I do think it's better than Thor, the first one, but not by much. It's not terrible though. I think it's you know what? I think I'm gonna be. I feel nice. I feel pretty nice today, so I think I'm just gonna throw it in okay, because it is just an okay movie. But nothing really special or nothing really crazy happens in this movie. I mean, sure, you have the dark elves. They're whatever. I will say though, Loki is pretty great in this movie. I think the actor that plays Loki, I think his name's Tom Hiddleston. I think, is that his name? I might be wrong. Tom Hiddleston. I'm just gonna roll with it. Whatever. The actor that plays Loki, he has probably some of his best writing besides the actual Loki show. Loki being probably one of the best shows that actually focus on Loki as the character. But besides Loki, which does a great job with Loki as a character, I think Thor: The Dark World also does an amazing job with Loki. For some odd reason, Loki and and Odin get kind of a lot of screen time. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love Odin. I think the actor who plays him is very funny, and he does a great job. And I love Loki too, so I don't mind that. I also think Curse, one of the dark elves, which his name is Curse, the really big Hulk guy, the big Hulk like dark elf Curse. I think he's really cool. He's not really necessarily an interesting villain. He's just a dumb brute. But I think the special effects that they use for Curse for the monster, and I think overall Curse's presence and his just intimidation factor is pretty big. I think Curse is pretty cool, and I really like Loki and Odin's writing in Thor: The Dark World, and that's about all the positives. The negatives being the Dark Elves are boring as all get out. Chris Hemsworth's acting yet again is just very weak. I think Chris Hemsworth this is another one of his very weak performances. Chris Hemsworth, like anytime it's its own movie, it's its own movie, he always brings out his most weakest performances. Like he always brings out his most weakest performance. Like I don't know what's with Chris Hemsworth and his weak ass performance, and his own movies. But like, come on, Chris Hemsworth, you got to pull it up, man. Two of your movies are in both meh and okay tier. You gotta pull it up, Chris Hemsworth. You gotta step it up, which he will later on. But we'll get there. All around, Thor: The Dark World is just a very meh to okay movie. Some days I like it more. I like it some days than others. Some days I'll be in a mood. I'll be like, hey, I'm in a mood to watch Thor: The Dark World. Like some days I'll like it more, and other days I'll think it's like the worst piece of shit ever. So I flip flop back and forth between if I like it or not, but all around it's just an okay movie. Next up we have Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I cannot throw it in amazing because Captain America: Winter Soldier is a great movie, but I'm gonna have to put it all the way. I'm gonna need to put it in the top of great tier because Captain America: The Winter Soldier, in my opinion, I like it more than the Avengers. Believe it or not, Captain America: The Winter Soldier is just so good, dude. They did a great job of Bucky and his whole brainwashing of Hydra. They did a great job with Bucky's, aka the Winter Soldier. They did a great job with his character. I also think Hydra is honestly pretty scary in this movie because like they really made Hydra really fucking scary and threatening, and they did a great job. I think Nick Fury is also pretty badass in this movie. Black Widow is so damn fine, can't lie. Captain America is pretty badass. Yeah, I like Winter Soldier. It's like it's got a lot of spy thriller energy. I don't mind that. I like me some spy thrillers. They're always entertaining. But yeah, all around Captain America: Winter Soldier is a pretty great movie. It's a pretty great movie, all things considered. I like it. Now, kickstarting off our first movie in the amazing tier, we have Guardians of the Galaxy. This movie belongs in amazing. It is an absolutely amazing movie. Everyone and their mom, and even their dog loves the Guardians of the Galaxy. Everyone fucking loves the Guardians. James Gunn is the master at making great cinematic movies. Speaking of James Gunn, his first directed DC movie, Superman Legacy, comes out this July, and I'm so fucking excited. While we're touching on the topic of James Gunn, his Superman movie, guys, looks really good, and I'm really excited to see it. Whenever and after it comes out, I'll definitely do like a review video on how I thought of it. I'm thinking of kickstarting a series on my channel where I review movies. I'm thinking of doing that. If you guys would be really interested in me like reviewing different movies that I'm interested in reviewing, then let me know down in the comments below if y'all are interested in a review series. Let me know down in the comments below. I'm very interested in hearing y'all's feedback. But anyway, we're getting off track. Guardians of the Galaxy is a great movie. Very funny, full of light harm. It's full of charm and heart. It's such a great movie, and I love Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's our first amazing tier movie. Great movie, all things considered. It's just awesome, awesomeness. Love it. Next up, we have coming out a year later after Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers: Age of Ultron. I kind of forget what happens in Avengers: Age of Ultron time to time. It's not necessarily a bad movie, but I'm leaning towards meh to okay. I don't know though. Ultron's kind of cringe. I don't know. I don't. You know what? I don't think it's as bad as these two, so I'll put it in front of okay. I think Age of Ultron is just okay. To be general. To be fair, I think Age of Ultron is just okay. My mom really likes this movie. My mom likes it more than me. I think, in fact, this is probably one of my mom's favorite Marvel movies. My mom really likes Age of Ultron. I never know why, because it's really not that good. In fact, you know what's funny? Out of all the Avenger movies, Age of Ultron's the one I've seen the most, which is kind of funny. I've seen this movie the most, and that's really because of the beginning scene. The beginning scene where they're in the when they're in I think it's Latveria. I'm not sure, but they're in the snowy area fighting Hydra. That beginning cinematic shot with all the Avengers, so good, so good. That beginning scene is actually the best part about the film. That and Hulk and Iron Man's fight is pretty good. And I do think some of the direction and like some of the cinematic shots, and I do think some of the dialogue is not terrible, and some of the writing is okay. I do like the one scene where Thor is having visions of the Infinity Stones, and there's actually a lot of foreshadowing. Avengers Infinity. There's a lot of foreshadowing with the with Infinity War, which I do really appreciate. That a lot of references, a lot of foreshadowing of Thanos and the Infinity War. I do really like that. I think that's cool. Foreshadowing the epic grand finale of the Avenger movies. I think that's really cool. But all in all, Age of Ultron is just a very meh to okay movie. Depends on what mood I'm in. Sometimes I really like this movie. Other times I think it's just not that good. Today I think it's just like okay. It's just okay to me. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's great. It's just okay. I guess it's just okay. Next up, coming out I think a few months after, coming out I think like 2 months after Age of Ultron, coming out July of 2015, we have Ant-Man. I know a lot of people that really don't care for Ant-Man or his character. I'm gonna be honest. I'm one of those people. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really care for Ant-Man. He's like a B-list to like a C-list superhero. Let's be honest. Who gives a rat's ass about Ant-Man? He's a guy that can shrink. He can shrink and turn big. Let's be honest, Adam from DC does a way better job at the whole shrinking thing. Adam does a way better job of that. But nevertheless, this is a Marvel video. I think Ant-Man, all things considered, I think it's just meh. It's just meh. I'll put it in front of Thor and Incredible Hulk because it's way better than those two. But it's just very meh. The best thing about the movie is Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is a great actor. Love Paul Rudd, and he does a very, very good job for the material he's given. Even if Paul Rudd's in a shitty movie and Paul Rudd knows he's in a shitty movie, he'll still try to make the life out of it. He'll still try to act his ass off and still try to make the movie fun and entertaining. And Paul Rudd is definitely the best part about the film. He's very entertaining, very fun, very lighthearted. I like Paul Rudd's acting. He's the best part about the film in terms of his acting. Everyone else's acting is just not like all the other actors with their characters. Like it's like they're either not funny or they're just downright cringe. Like it's just, especially Paul Rudd's friends or Scott Lang's friends in the movie. They're very cringe and really not that funny. I'm gonna be honest. Ant-Man, I actually really used to like this movie. It was like probably one of the first Marvel movies I fell in love with when I was a kid. I remember when I watched it when it came out. I really fucking loved this movie for some reason. Mainly because of the final fight scene with him in Yellow Jacket with the big Thomas the Tank Engine. I always thought that scene was cool. I still think it is pretty cool. It's actually it's a well choreographed scene. It's a very well choreographed scene. All things considered, in terms of like stunt performances and fights, I think it's pretty cool. The climax of the film, but overall, Ant-Man is just meh. It's just meh. Next up we have where is it? Wow, where is it? Where is Civil War? Fuck, I cannot see. There it is. Sorry about that, guys. Next up we have Captain America: Civil War. This movie is pretty great, actually. I'll put it behind Captain America: First Avenger because actually I think it's pretty solid, all things considered. I don't think it's as good as First Avenger. I don't think any movie will top like First Avenger, like in First Avenger's like badassery tone or the ending of First Avenger. I don't think anyone will top that. Any movie will top that. But Civil War is pretty great. It's a good movie. I know. The movie's not as good as like the comic book adaptation. A lot of people think Civil War is a really, really bad comic book adaptation. The book is way better. It has a way longer build up, and I know the comic book is it's a way better payoff. It has a way longer build up. I know. But I kind of look at Civil War as its own thing. Captain America: Civil War, I don't really look at it as an adaptation to the book. I look at it as its like own thing, you know. And actually, I actually watched it pretty recently. And like I actually watched it, and before I watched it, I put myself in a certain mindset. Like, okay, so I've kind of put myself in a mindset where like, okay. I kind of acted like I'm watching it for the first time, and I put myself in a mindset where I'm pretending that this movie is not from a book at all. It's its like own thing. I'm completely pretending that this movie's not even from a book, and I put myself in a mindset where it's like not from a book. It's its own thing, and it actually made me enjoy it more. And because of that, Captain America Civil War belongs in great tier. It's a great movie. And it's a very fun movie. Next up, we have Doctor Strange coming out a few months after Captain America: Civil War. I think this movie is pretty solid. I'll put it behind Iron Man 2. I think Doctor Strange is pretty solid. I like it. I think it's a pretty solid movie, all things considered. Holy shit, we're at 32 minutes. God damn. Told y'all this would be a long ass video. Jeez Louise. Coming out after Doctor Strange, we have coming out like a year later after Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. You already know this movie also belongs in amazing tier, and I'm one of the few people that prefers the second one over the first one. I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 actually is better than the first one. I love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I think it does James Gunn does such an amazing job with the characters. The writing, especially the writing with both Yondu and Nebula. The writing with both Nebula and Yondu is so great, and it's really funny how Yondu and Nebula went to being like just like one-dimensional characters and just mindless villains in the first movie to going to like actual characters with good writing in the second movie, and because of that. I just fucking love this movie. Kurt Russell as Ego the Planet is just it's just such a fucking fun performance. I love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It's fun, it's full of life, it's full of energy, it's full of heart. It's got a lot of really sad scenes, but also a lot of really funny scenes. Kurt Russell does an amazing job as Ego the Planet. He's a great villain. He's very intimidating and scary. And this movie also does a really good job of putting stakes. This movie has a lot of stakes, and actually when I first saw this, I legit thought that both Rocket and Star-Lord were gonna die. I know, even though this is only their second movie, and it was revealed that both Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon were gonna be in Avengers: Infinity War. I still thought that they were gonna die, even though I knew they were gonna be in the next Avengers movie. That's just how much that's just how much this movie has stakes. This movie has stakes, and it just makes it even better. And it also gets extra bonus points for Kurt Russell's performance. Kurt Russell's performance, I'm sorry, but it gives this movie extra bonus points. I'm sorry, but Ronan the Accuser in the first movie is just not that interesting compared to Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell's Ego the Planet is way more interesting of a villain, and I care for him way more than Ronan the fucking Accuser. I'm gonna be honest, Ronan the Accuser is very bland and just kind of boring to me. Kurt Russell as Ego the Planet, now that's a guy that I want to hang out with, bro. That's a way more interesting villain. And also, it's funny, this was during the phase of Marvel where the villains actually got more, like more relatable and, like, more compelling, and villains that you can actually agree with their point of views, and you can actually low-key just sit down and, like, yeah, this villain, I can see why they're a villain. I can agree with their point of views. This was during that Marvel phase where the villains got really good. And it actually started with Volume 2. So Volume 2 basically kicked off a trend with really good Marvel villains. And because of that, it gets extra bonus points. So yeah. Speaking of good villains and a good movie, we have Spider-Man Homecoming. This movie is great. I'm going to put it behind Winter Soldier. It's so good. Spider-Man Homecoming, even after No Way Home came out, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, I still think Homecoming is still good. I don't care if No Way Home kind of butchered some of Tom Holland's Spider-Man's character. I don't really care if No Way Home butchered some of Spider-Man's character, especially Tom Holland's Spider-Man's character. I think Homecoming still is a great movie, even after all these years later. It's still fun, it's still exciting, and it's just full of life, energy, and it's just fun. It's just fun. It's a fun movie that you can sit down with your friend or your family member, your loved one, and you can just have a good time. It's a fun movie. It's fun, man. It's fun. Speaking of fun, another really fun movie is Thor Ragnarok. Now, Thor Ragnarok, I'm gonna put it behind Guardians of the Galaxy. Thor Ragnarok is going in an amazing tier. So after being in meh tier and after going to being in complete mediocre, aka dog shit tier, to going to like okay tier, finally Thor has boosted himself up to amazing tier. Thor Ragnarok is so good. Guys, if you have not seen it, I implore you to watch it. It's a fucking fantastic movie. So good, bro. So good. I love Thor Ragnarok. So good. Speaking of good movies, we have Avengers Infinity War. You already know where I'm putting this. At the top of amazing. Avengers Infinity War is so good, bro. It's so good. I love Infinity War so much. It's a great movie. And that's about all I have to say. Okay, well, I will say Thanos is great. I think Josh Brolin does a great job with voicing Thanos. He really brings more depth to the character. And Thanos really needs a lot of depth, considering he's the Mad Titan, and he's a big threat. He's like one of the Avengers' bigger threat enemies, right behind Ultron. And because of Thanos being a big threat for the Avengers, Thanos needs a lot of depth and a lot of really good writing. And I think and the Russo brothers already got the good writing part down. Thanos is an amazing written villain. He's great. But I think Josh Brolin just brings so much depth and energy to the character. Thanks to Josh Brolin's amazing voice acting as Thanos, we have one of, if not the best MCU villains we've had in a long-ass time. Thanos is just so great, and he makes the movie so much good. It's so much fun. And he also makes it really intense to watch, too. I remember when I was sitting in the movie theater, bro, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. Avengers Infinity War is it has that much stakes. And quite a few amount of characters die. Quite a lot of characters do die in this movie. A good amount, in fact. Yeah, a lot of them do come back alive at Endgame, which kind of does ruin a couple of the stakes in Infinity War. And because of me knowing that most of the characters do live up to Endgame, to past Endgame, it kind of ruins some of the stakes and some of the rewatchability for Infinity War, considering I know who's going to die or live. But still, Infinity War still has some great rewatchability and still some really good stakes. And it's just all around a great MCU movie. I don't need to say anything else. It belongs at amazing. It is amazing. One of the best MCU movies ever made. Um, Now, a movie that's not as good as Infinity War, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. I was actually about to rank Captain Marvel after Infinity War. I was actually about to start ranking Captain Marvel. I forget Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp exists. I kind of forget about this movie's existence. It's 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 a movie. It is pretty good. I won't lie. It's better than all three of these movies combined. But I can't. It's no deny that Ant-Man and the Wasp is just another mediocre Marvel movie. It's so mid, so meh. It's just as mediocre as the first Ant-Man movie. For one, I mean, even if it was good, I would probably still put it in a low tier because I don't give a rat's ass about Ant-Man. I don't give a shit about Ant-Man. Let's be honest. Who cares about Ant-Man? I don't care. But that being said, though, Ant-Man and the Wasp, it's okay. I mean, it's mid, but it's all right. It's fun at least. At least it's fun. It's fun, and that's why it's higher than that's why it's higher than Ant-Man, Thor, and Incredible Hulk, because it is fun, but it's still very mediocre. Speaking also on the topic of mediocre, we have if I can, there we go. We have Captain Marvel. Another very mid movie. You put it behind Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's where Captain Marvel's going. Very meh movie. Don't really care about Captain Marvel. He's just another superhero that I don't really care about. And yeah, that's where I don't have anything else to say about Captain Marvel. It sucks. It sucks. Actually, you know what? Also, Avengers Endgame is absolutely amazing. I don't think it's as good. I don't think it's as good as Infinity War. I don't think it's as good as Infinity War, but I think Endgame is still really good. By the way, Endgame is amazing. It's amazing. Also, speaking of Captain Marvel, I think this is actually going to be our first trash movie of the video. This is actually going to be our first movie in trash tier. Funny. Out of all the movies we've gone through, Captain Marvel is the first movie that's in trash tier. Doesn't really surprise me. Captain Marvel sucks as a superhero, and the movie sucks. And because of Captain Marvel sucking as a character and the movie sucking, the movie fails. So yeah, it's absolutely garbage. Captain Marvel sucks. Captain America's great though. Captain Marvel sucks. Also, Avengers Endgame is amazing. Not as good as Infinity War, but it's still absolutely amazing. Great movie. Coming out after Endgame, what came out? Oh yeah, Spider-Man: Far From Home. That came out after Endgame. There's Far From Home. Far From Home came out after Endgame, December of 2019. Pretty weird time for this movie to come out. Well, not really. A lot of really good Marvel movies come out around like later in the year. Usually a lot of good Marvel movies usually come out around mid to later. A lot of good Marvel movies usually come out at around mid to later of the year. And Spider-Man: Far From Home is no different. It's a good movie. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's as good as Homecoming. I think Homecoming is way better. But I don't think it's terrible. I'll put it in front of Doctor Strange. I think Spider-Man: Far From Home is pretty solid. It's not as good as Homecoming. Hey, see what I did there? It's far from good as Homecoming. It's far from good. Because, like the title, Far From Home, it's far from good as Homecoming, Far From Home. Anyway, I'll stop my corny ass jokes. Anyway, Far From Home is pretty solid, pretty decent movie, all things considered. And yeah. Bro, we're not even halfway done, bro. We still have so many fucking movies to review. Godly. And coming out a year later, our very first Marvel TV show, coming out a year later after Far From Home, our first Marvel TV show. Now we're getting into the TV shows. WandaVision. I think WandaVision's actually pretty good. I think it's pretty solid. I think WandaVision's pretty solid. It does have some problems, but I do think it's a little bit better than Far From Home. I really do like WandaVision. I think WandaVision's pretty solid, all things considered. Not as good as Iron Man 1 or 2. Iron Iron Man 1 and 2 are great movies. I don't think WandaVision, the TV show, is as good as the first two Iron Man movies, but WandaVision's still pretty good. It's still pretty good. Actually, speaking of that, I don't think it's as good as Spider-Man Far From Home. I think Spider-Man Far From Home is better than WandaVision. I do think WandaVision is better than Doctor Strange. But WandaVision's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Starting off pretty strong with a good TV show. And moving on, we went to a pretty good Marvel TV show to a pretty bad Marvel TV show. Speaking of Falcon as Captain America, the new Captain America movie comes out this Friday. Captain America Brave New World, which it looks like ass. I'm not going to see it. But anyway, back on track. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you know what? I think Incredible Hulk is better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier is very mediocre. It's almost trash for me. It's very close to being in trash, but it just barely dodges trash here because Kurt Russell's son, aka Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell, he does great as the evil Captain America. I really like his performance as like the evil Captain America in the show. I think he's pretty cool in terms of a villain, and I think the special effects and the CGI honestly look pretty decent for the most part. But that's about all the compliments I can give it. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it just fell very flat. It is not that good. Now going off track from any of the Marvel products, this was basically just like a very just goofy spin-off TV show. It wasn't really made for any purpose. The I Am Groot show. I think me and my mom I think we watched like a first season of it. It's fine. It's better than Avengers Age of Ultron and Thor: The Dark World. I think it's way better. So I think I Am Groot belongs in I do think it belongs in okay. It's just a spin-off show. It's not going any bit higher. It's supposed to be it's not supposed to be like amazing. It's just supposed to be a goofy spin-off show. And yeah, it's just okay. I completely forgot. Black Widow also came out in 2020. Black Widow is also very meh. I'll put it behind Thor. I think the first Thor movie is better than Black Widow. But Black Widow is very meh, very forgettable, not that great, just very forgettable. What the fuck? How did I forget Black Panther? Black Panther came out before Infinity War. I forgot Black Panther. Oh shit. I'm probably gonna get flamed for that. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to forget Black Panther. I don't hate Black Panther, I just forgot, okay? This tier list is kind of small. It's kind of hard to see all the movies and TV shows. Especially the images on them. Anyways, Black Panther. Black Panther is pretty solid. I'll put it in front of Doctor Strange. I don't think it's amazing. Far from it being amazing. I think it has some of the worst CGI. Out of all the MCU movies, I think Black Panther has some of the worst looking CGI. And I'm not afraid to say that. A lot of people think Black Panther has some really shitty CGI effects. But it's not terrible. I think Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger is pretty fucking great. I love Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. He's probably one of the best parts about the film, and that's about all the compliments I can give it. Chadwick Boseman's performance as Black Panther is okay, but Michael B. Jordan's performance as Killmonger is pretty good. And yeah, it's pretty solid. It's solid. Next up we have Loki, the Loki TV show. So, which one's the first season? Because the first season's great. The first season, I'll put it in front of Captain America Civil War. The first season of Loki is really great. It's really, really good. The first season of Loki, really good. The second season is... I can't tell if this is the second season or not. I'm gonna assume one is the first season. This one's the second season. It's good. The second season is just okay. It's just okay. I'll put it in front of okay. It's better than the I Am Groot spin-off show. I didn't really care about I Am Groot spin-off show. I mean, it was decent. It was funny, but Loki season 2 is a tad bit better than I Am Groot, but not by much. It's just okay. Now we have the What If TV show. God, so many TV shows that I didn't really care about. What If, it's just whatever. uh, I'll put it. What If is definitely better than Loki season 2. I did really like the whole gimmick and the whole the whole gimmick about What If. I did really like that. But it's just overall very mid. I'm gonna put both What If seasons. I don't really know what I don't really know the difference between these two versions of What If, but they're both going in okay because I watched like 2 episodes of What If. I watched the zombie episode and the episode on what if Hank Pym went evil and he killed all the Avengers. I watched that one and the What If episode on all the Marvel characters turning into zombies. Which that one and the episode where Hank Pym killed all the Avengers, those were the two best. Those were the only ones I've really watched. What is this? Oh, this is another What If show. Also going in. It's also going in. Okay, it's another What If show. Whatever. Next up we have Shang-Chi, whatever. So earlier, as I was talking about, the real Mandarin, like in Iron Man 3 with the real Mandarin, it's in the real Mandarin's in this movie Shang-Chi. I never really saw Shang-Chi. I never saw this movie. But a lot of people said it was pretty good. Cause of the fact that I never seen this movie. It's gonna go in the very actually it's gonna go behind I Am Groot because I never really saw it. I'm just gonna put it in okay tier because I never saw it. But I heard that it was okay. It was all right. So I'll just put it in okay. Coming up on our next amazing tier movie of Spider-Man No Way Home. This movie is you know what? I think Spider-Man No Way Home is going in front of Guardians of the Galaxy because I think Spider-Man No Way Home is a really great movie. It's going in front of Guardians of the Galaxy, but I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is better than Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm sorry, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is just so good, bro. I think it's better than No Way Home, but No Way Home is better than both Ragnarok and Guardians of the Galaxy. I love... Spider-Man No Way Home is so, so good. Everyone and their grandma loves this movie. Bringing back Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, just mwah. Bringing back Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus, Jamie Foxx's Electro, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, and Hayden Church Sandman. Bringing back Hayden Church as Sandman. Was pretty awesome. I like all the references of the Spider-Man talking about their different villains they fought. Tobey Maguire talking about the symbiote that he fought in Spider-Man 3. And Andrew Garfield talking about Rhino that he fought in Amazing Spider-Man 2. So funny, so good. Spider-Man No Way Home is just a great movie with a good amount of stakes. It's just a great movie. Spider-Man No Way Home is a great movie, all things considered. It's great. Eternals, our first trash movie in a while. We haven't had a trash movie in a while. I think Eternals is going in there. I think Captain Marvel is surprisingly actually better than Eternals. So far, I think Eternals is probably the worst Marvel movie. I think for right now, as I'm ranking, Eternals is the worst Marvel movie ever. That we've had in this tier so far. Both Captain Marvel and Eternals are absolutely dog shit. They're trash, and I hate them. Eternals sucked ass. This movie was not good at all. This movie sucked. I hated it, and that's about all I have to say about it. I hate Eternals. Movie sucked. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I definitely like the first Doctor Strange movie a little bit more. Multiverse of Madness. It's okay. I think Loki Season 2 was actually more entertaining. Actually, no. I'll put Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness in front of okay. I think it is more solid than all of these movies I have in okay combined. Multiverse of Madness, it's actually just okay. Not too great of a movie. It's just okay. The Hawkeye show finally coming up to an actual pretty decent, actually pretty solid Marvel TV show. I'll put it behind WandaVision. Actually, no, I'll put it in front of WandaVision. Not Far From Home was better than Hawkeye. But Hawkeye was actually a pretty good Marvel TV show. I actually thought, oops, my bad, guys. I actually thought Hawkeye was pretty entertaining. I actually thought it was pretty good. I liked Hawkeye. It was a pretty good Marvel TV show. I really liked it. Moon Knight. My mom watched this. I didn't really care about Moon Knight. Actually, you know what? I accidentally put it in meh, but I think that's where it belongs. It belongs between Thor and Black Widow. It belongs in meh. Moon Knight was just whatever. It was not that good. It was just whatever. Next up, we have the second Black Panther movie, Wakanda Forever. This movie is pretty great. I thought this movie was really good. It was really good. I'll put it behind Loki season 1. I thought Black Panther Wakanda Forever was actually really good. I really fucking liked the movie. I thought Shuri as the new Black Panther is really cool. Ironheart is whatever. I didn't really care. I didn't really care for Ironheart, but I really like Shuri as Black Panther. I love Okoye. I love Okoye. Okoye is great. Namor was pretty cool. I like Namor. The special effects looked pretty good. Black Panther's mom, I really liked the actress that played her. Her performance was really, really good. All things considered, Wakanda Forever was a great movie, and I really liked it. Echo, I never saw this. It's going behind meh. Never saw this. Never saw Echo. Same with Miss Marvel. I never saw that movie either. It's going in meh. She-Hulk, another horrible piece of shit going in trash. She-Hulk sucks. Everyone knows that TV show. Everyone knows that the She-Hulk Authority at Law TV show sucks ass. She-Hulk is absolutely terrible. It fucking sucks. Thor Love and Thunder, that's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. I'll put it behind Spider-Man Far From Home. I actually kind of like Thor Love and Thunder. A lot of people really didn't like this movie. I actually thought it was pretty good. I actually thought it was semi-okay. I thought it was pretty solid, all things considered. I thought it was pretty solid. Werewolf by Night. This movie was actually really good. Werewolf by Night. This movie was pretty good. I remember really liking this movie. Man-Thing finally made an appearance. He finally made his appearance in the MCU. Man-Thing. That was pretty fucking sick. I really liked the monsters and like I really liked the black and white and like the monster aesthetic and Werewolf by Night. I thought that was really cool. Werewolf by Night, put it behind Wakanda Forever. I liked Werewolf by Night. I thought it was really cool. I liked all the monsters. I thought it was really cool. I liked Werewolf by Night. It was really good. The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, it's going at the bottom of great. I think Guardians of the Galaxy, the Holiday Special with Kevin Bacon, I thought it was pretty great. Really funny. Just a good thing. It's just like a fun little thing to kill some time. It's just a fun little TV show, aka movie to watch. It's just a fun little thing to kill some time with. I like Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. It really gets you in the Christmas spirit. I really like it. Next up we have another really awful Marvel movie, also going in trash. We have Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Actually, you know what? This movie is going... Actually, King the Conqueror was the best part about Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. You know what? I can't put Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania in trash tier because King the Conqueror was really cool, but I will put it at the very bottom of meh. You know what's funny? All three Ant-Man movies are all at meh. That does not surprise me because, again, Ant-Man is not interesting. He's a boring character. Quit making movies about him. However, I can't put Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania in trash tier because King the Conqueror was definitely the best part about the film. I really liked King the Conqueror. He was awesome. I really liked his performance in the movie. But that's about the saving grace. That's like the only the only bit of the movie that I liked was King the Conqueror. Other than that, movie sucked. Now, finally, we're coming up to oops, I didn't mean to do that. Can I? Thank you. Now coming up to another amazing movie. A movie that I think might be better than Endgame. Actually, you know what? No, I have to put it behind Endgame. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So it's funny, all three Ant-Man movies are all in okay tier, and all three of the Guardians of the Galaxy, they're all in amazing tier. Kind of funny. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Don't at me. It's so fucking good. It's so good. I love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's so good. So funny. I love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I don't think it's as good as Endgame. Endgame is great. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is an amazing-ass movie. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. Next up, we have Marvel's Secret Invasion, or Secret Wars. I think it's Secret Invasion. This was the movie with Nick Fury with the aliens. This was the TV show of Nick Fury and the aliens. I did not care about this at all. For what I've heard, this TV show was pretty awful. It pretty much sucked. So because of that, I'm gonna put it at the highest of trash. Because I think I saw one episode of it. I thought it was better than Captain Marvel. Thought it was better than Eternals and She-Hulk combined. But it's still absolutely sucked. Secret Invasion is trash. It's trash. I saw one episode of it and I immediately turned it off. It's trash. It's dookie. Next up we have The Marvels. Another absolute piece of shit, horrible movie. Going in trash tier. No one cares about The Marvels. It absolutely sucks. No one cares. We also have Agatha Harkness, or the villain from WandaVision. I never saw this TV show. I heard it was pretty woke, and I never watched it. I also heard it was really bad, so it's going at the bottom of meh. Did not care for Agatha. I did not care for Agatha in the WandaVision. I did not think she was that interesting of a villain, and I didn't care enough for her to. I did not think she was interesting enough for her to get her own TV show, so I never watched it. And also, yeah, The Marvels sucks. Going back on topic for The Marvels sucks. I don't know why they keep trying to make movies with Captain Marvel. She's not interesting at all. Same with Agatha. Agatha is not interesting. Anyways, but yeah, Agatha is very mediocre. It's very meh. But yeah. And for the last but not least, I saved this one especially for last. Deadpool Wolverine, the last MCU movie. It is an MCU movie. You already know where this is going. I'm putting it behind Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 because I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is better than Deadpool Wolverine. But Deadpool and Wolverine is going in amazing tier. Deadpool Wolverine is so fucking good. Bro, I saw this shit in the theater, bro. It was so hype. Wolverine and Deadpool. Fuck, the movie was good. I love Deadpool Wolverine. Movie was amazing. And yeah, guys. That is my tier list on all the MCU movies. So, in my humble opinion, the best MCU movies, in my humble opinion, in the amazing tier, the best MCU movies is Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Deadpool Wolverine, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man No Way Home, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Thor Ragnarok. Those are the best Marvel movies ever made. And the absolute worst of the worst MCU projects, aka the worst MCU TV shows / movies ever made, is Marvel's Secret Invasion, The Marvels, Captain Marvel, Eternals, and She-Hulk, coming at the bottom of the barrel as the worst Marvel project ever made. So, Avengers Infinity War being the best Marvel project ever made, and She-Hulk being the absolute worst of the barrel, absolute fucking worst Marvel project ever made. And yeah, guys, that is my tier list on all of the MCU movies / TV shows ever made. That's my ranking on all of them. If y'all disagree with me, then let me know down in the comments below why. If y'all do agree with me, then also let me know down in the comments below if you agree or disagree with me. Be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notification bells, because guys, this video was over an hour long, guys. I told you this video was gonna be fucking long. So guys, I think y'all are solid. I started recording this video like 8:25. It is 9:33 p.m. It's almost my bedtime. So guys, I'm probably gonna be up for another hour editing this video, which is gonna be super fun, super duper. Y'all absolutely supported the hell out of the early 2000s Marvel tier list video. Y'all wanted another tier list like this, so I gave it to you. And I wasted a bunch of time making this video. So y'all, all that time I wasted, please give this video a like for all that time, because I'm never going to get that time back. So please give this video a like. I'm just kidding. I had fun with this video. I had fun ranking these Marvel movies. Some of these I straight up just never saw, like Agatha and Echo. I never even saw those. And some of these I've seen way too many times, like Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Thor Ragnarok, Avengers Infinity War. Some of these I saw way too many times, and some of these I've never even seen. But anyway, all that out of the way, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know if you agree or disagree with me in the comments below. And yeah, that's about the end of the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see all you guys next time. Peace out. Bye.